are you? Why am I using that line? There we go. There. There's one. There he is. There he is. There we go. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. First of all, excuse my voice. I'm getting over the virus. It's taken it 3 years to make it into my home, but it finally peeked its nasty little head through my doorway, and we're just now getting over it. So that explains that. How are you guys doing? It's been way too freaking long. It's been a very long time since I've filmed, and you know, that kind of sucks. But before we even get into anything, I'll explain a little bit. For the longest time, I put literally everything, all of my time and everything, into my YouTube. And you know, I had a blast doing that, and I miss it like crazy. But YouTube didn't make it to the mark that I needed it to make it to continue down that path. And an opportunity arose, and I had to take it. So now I work for a contracting company, and that takes up literally all my time. It's dark when I go in the morning, and it's usually dark when I get home. So I have no time to film and edit, or even go fishing for that matter. And then on the weekend, most of my free time I'm spending with my family. So there's that. I'm sure you guys understand, even though I wish it was different and I wish I could film for you guys all the time. I can't do that. With that being said, through the spring and the summer, which is right around the corner, I'm gonna try my best to put out some videos for you guys as much as I possibly can. The only reason I can't in the moment is because you know, through the winter it gets dark at like 5 o'clock, and I can't really film and edit and do all that stuff when it's pitch black. So with all that being said, I want to thank you guys for sticking around. I know a lot of you guys have kept in touch with me as much as you could and made sure everything was going good, and you know, shout out to you guys and Fishing with Becca for you know, checking on me. I appreciate you. But yeah, today we're gonna go fishing. So it was my last day of quarantine yesterday, and then I was supposed to go back to work today, but they thought today was my last day of quarantine, so they already started, and now I have a free day to film for you guys. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So you guys stay tuned, enjoy the video. Thank you once again for sticking around, and for all you new subscribers, welcome to the channel. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and go grab my other rod that I left at my dad's house. We're gonna make it to the lake. Verse of the day popping up on the screen right there. It's beautiful. Take a second, meditate on the word, and I'll see you guys when we get to the lake. Okay, I'm not even gonna bore you guys with any of that. It's 2 days later, and you know, nothing happened. I fished for maybe 4 hours, didn't even get a single bite, didn't see anything. You know, it's still super early, but you know, I still got that craving, like I gotta catch a fish. So as I said, it's 2 days later, and it's way colder, so that's gonna hurt us a little bit. There's still snow on the ground in some places because we got some snow yesterday, which was super weird because it went from 65 degrees to the next day 22 and snowy, and then today high 40s, but it's been 20 some degrees all night and all morning. So you know, not the best of conditions, but I'm still like super pumped. I gotta get my hands on a fish. I don't care what I catch, I just want to catch a fish. So you guys stay tuned, and let's hopefully figure out how to make a day out of this. Stay tuned. That is disgusting. All right. so we've made it to the first spot that I have decided to come and fish. I already went to Walmart, picked up a few things, which I'll be showing you guys in just a second. But I kind of wanted to just get on here real quick and tell you guys what's going on in my mind, because this video is kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that. But it kind of hit me on the way down here that there's something about river fishing that not many people seem to understand, and I figured that I would just completely change my route in this video and turn it into a pretty much an ultimate how-to guide when it comes to winter smallmouth creek fishing. Just to give you guys an example of like the things that I do and what I like to key in on when I'm searching for smallmouth bass in the dead of winter. And by dead of winter, I mean it is February, late February, and it just snowed yesterday. So cold water, cold weather, dead of winter. So anyway, there's a few things that a lot of people tend to believe when it comes to fishing in general, but also river fishing or creek fishing for smallmouth. That's just simply not always true, and that's that you can only catch fish in deep water. That's not necessarily true, especially when it comes to river systems like the one that I'm going to be fishing today. If you have a river that's similar to the one that I'm fishing in, then there's a lot of places that holds fish that don't necessarily have access to deeper water. So where do they go? And that's kind of what today's video is going to be about, just showing you guys how I come out in the middle of the winter and still manage to sometimes, hopefully today, catch some smallmouth bass. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the things that I picked up today. It's nothing that you absolutely have to have, but it's just some things that I would feel a little bit more confident in when I'm trying to do something like we're doing today. Number one is spinning gear. Now, if you think that you can't go to a creek or river and use a bait caster and catch smallmouth, then you're simply wrong, because I do it all the time. But I do prefer to have something a little bit smaller, something a little bit more light, something with a little bit lighter line, and you know, I can just get it exactly where I need it, and it's a lot easier with spinning combo. So I went and I picked one up, and I stuck with the Orange Xfinity. The reason I got this one is because I used to have an Orange Xfinity. It's the older model, and it was probably one of my favorite spinning reels that I ever owned, and I actually gave it away here on my YouTube channel, and I have wanted one ever since. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the newer models of the Lew's Xfinity. It is a 6.6 medium, and I think it's gonna do us perfectly for what we're trying to do today. Then, to pair up with that, I got some Yo-Zuri 10-pound braid. I've never used Yo-Zuri, but I've heard good things, so I figured I would try that out. And I also got some 6-pound fluorocarbon. Now, you can use straight fluoro, you can use straight mono, you can use straight braid if you want. But me personally, I like to throw a braid to fluorocarbon leader, especially on my gear that I specifically use for bass, because I don't want to throw 6-pound line into any kind of cover or brush. And I apologize about the wind, because I'm sure you guys are probably having trouble hearing sometimes, but it's absolutely brutal, but it's not going to stop us. So yeah, braid to fluoro leader, 10-pound braid, 6-pound fluoro. The next thing is some baits. I chose this Gulp. It's like a little minnow style. It's a 3-inch minnow. I got these for a drop shot, or you could even put them on a Ned rig if you want. There's many different ways you can fish this. I'll try to cover that in like a different video or something if that's what you're interested in, but I'll probably be throwing it on a drop shot and a Ned rig, drop shot hooks, and I also got a little Bitsy Bug jig. Now what I like to do with these, especially in the river, is I like to trim the skirt down a lot and make it like a finesse style, and you can put anything on the back of this thing, and it tends to be deadly, especially in colder water. You can move it real slow, and it'll help you get bit that way. But that's pretty much all I got. I had a lot of gear already that I'll be using today, but that's the whole goal for today. And I'm sorry for ranting. I just wanted to let you guys know what exactly was going on. So we're gonna spend the rest of our time focusing on certain spots in the river, trying our best to catch some winter creek smallies. So you guys stick with me, stay tuned. I'm gonna get rigged up and I'll see you guys when we're making some casts. Let's get it. All right, so got some gloves on and also a boggin because this wind is brutal and it's freezing me to death. But I went ahead and trimmed up that jig trailer. So I got me a little small presentation jig, and I also tied on this drop shot with one of those little minnows. And as you guys can clearly see, my river system is not really that deep. You know, there's a few spots where it gets maybe four foot, and that's, you know, very few spots. So this is what I'm limited to. And right off the rip here, I can show you one thing that I like to avoid, and that's shallow current. For the most part, especially when it's cold like that, the bass are gonna stay away from that current. Now, they may be in like little yetis on the opposite end of the current, waiting for things to, you know, drop in and stuff, kind of like underneath that tree over there. But during the spring and the summer, you can fish dead center of the current, and typically that's where you're gonna be catching fish. But in the winter, they tend to stay away from that, stay in, you know, little pockets on the sides of the current. So those are some of the things that I like to look for when I'm trying to catch some winter smallmouth. Like this section right here, if you look, you see the current out there by that laydown, but right here there's a small pocket, and a lot of times these bass will hide up under that brush there and just stay in that pocket waiting for things to, you know, kind of just come out of the current so they can ambush. But you know, there's just so many situations that these fish are in where they don't have the opportunity to leave where they are and go to deeper water. So they kind of just gotta deal with what they got. And for a lot of the locations on this body of water specifically, you know, these little pockets on the sides of the river is what they got in the way of deep water. So they can't really maneuver to deeper sections. But I went ahead and got this bad boy rigged up, 10-pound braid, 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. I'm gonna set my drag kind of loose, just because I don't want to break off so easily. Got me a little Gulp minnow nose hooked drop shot. He's kind of crooked. I'm going to straighten that up real quick, and then we're going to get to fishing, and hopefully we'll be able to pull a smallmouth out of here for you guys. First cast with the new setup. Man, it is freezing cold out here. Definitely gonna take both of these to this next spot. Oh, you guys have seen me fish here many times if you've been around for a while. I like this spot because it also kind of protects you from the wind just a little bit. And I mean that, just a little bit. Of course. Of course. Of course. That's one way to do it. Get broke off immediately. That's the name of the game sometimes. I just got freaking hammered and I broke it off. I broke off. I just broke off. That felt big. That felt really big. We've been here for 5 minutes and we broke off already. That's kind of the issue that you deal with when you come to the river. So I mean, there's really nothing I can say about it except for you gotta get back in there. So what I had on here as a trailer is one of these green pumpkin speed craws with about half of it cut off. This jig's just a little bit of a different color than what I already had on, but I don't think it's gonna matter enough that it's a little bit different. And I feel like this color might actually match the craws just a little bit better. So let's try this again. Alright, so I trimmed this one up just like the last one. Like I said, the smallest little things that you can do sometimes have a giant impact on whether you're catching fish or not. And I've noticed that in finesse situations, just trimming the skirt on a jig can have like a huge impact. Man, that was super unfortunate. But I'm gonna hope that he's still there and still hungry. A jig is one of the best wintertime baits in my opinion. Mainly because it's just so simple. You know, you just throw it out there and drag it, hop it, bounce it, but just slow presentation in the winter and it's just deadly. Not really many baits beat a jig in cold water. Before I leave, here's another tip. When you get bit, if you break off or you know you got a hook in something and then you miss it or whatever the case may be, instead of just giving up, there is a very good chance that you're not going to get them to bite again. But one thing you can do to increase your chances is come back at it with a bait that's similar but not exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie on a Texas rig and put one of those speed craws on there and throw that instead of the jig and see if I can get him to bite again, or see if I can get another one to come out and play. Doesn't always work. Actually, it hardly ever works, but it is something that you can try, and it is something that has worked for me in the past. Alright, back down here with the Texas rig now instead of the jig. I'm not really sure how I feel yet about using lighter line. I kind of wish I would have maybe waited until I fished fish pond before I used light line. I don't know. But at the same time, this line will probably help me get bit in clear water, so I don't know. are you? Why am I using that line? Why am I using that line? My drag, look at it. It's... two decent fish broke off. All right. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't salty right now. Went ahead and just took my casting combo, took the jig off, and I put a Texas rig on. I may end up having to go back to Walmart because I have 2 more speed crawls, and clearly that's what they want. But this is 17-pound fluoro, so if it breaks, then I'm done. Man. But we have found what they want. I mean, clearly they want this. All right, spot number something other. Now this bridge used to be a whole lot different, and they've redone it, but the water is still fairly deep around the bridge pilings and stuff, and I have caught some fish here in the past, so hopefully there's still some here. I'll stick with the same things: crankbait and crawl. Guess we'll start off with the old crawdaddy. Oh. Oh, I just got bit. I just got bit. I just got bit. Come on. There's fish here, and they're hungry. Come on. There we go. There. Yes. That's not a bad one. Not a bad one. It looks like a little largie. Little largie action. Little largie action. By little, I mean fairly big largie action for this water. Or it might be a spot, actually. Look at that. Let's freaking go. Let's go. I can't feel the little patch. I think it's a largemouth, but nice fish. Yes, let's freaking go, dude. You guys have no idea how good it feels to be holding this thing. And I know it's not a giant, but for a little section like this in the middle of the winter, you can't complain with a fish like that. Let's freaking go. Now, I knew they were on the crawl pattern because, as you guys seen earlier, I got broken off twice. This guy was just sitting in that little slack water right beside that big brush pile there, just waiting to ambush a crawl. That's exactly what he did. I'm gonna get a picture. We'll get him back in there. Yes, dude. All right, guys, one last look. Beautiful, beautiful river bass. I'm not sure if it's a largemouth or a spotted bass. I think it's a largemouth, but you know, it's hard to tell, especially when their lateral line is just so pronounced. But I don't feel a patch on his tongue, so I'm thinking it's a beautiful river largemouth. Thank you so much, my dude. See you later. There he goes. Let's freaking go, man. Let's go. And that,
friends, is why you don't stay at home sitting on the couch in February when everybody thinks that the fish are not biting. And this is not a super deep part of the river. It's maybe 3 feet in the deepest spot. I know because I've waded this area many times, so it's not super deep out there. And these fish are limited to where they can go, whether it's spring, summer, or winter. So a lot of times they stay in the same locations. They just tuck themselves away just a little bit better, and they're more lethargic, so they don't want to bite. But clearly, as you can see, some of them still want to bite. So stay tuned, see if we can't catch some more of these river smallies, largies, or spots. I don't really care which ones they are. I just want to catch some fish. Man, that felt good. It's been too long. Let's get back at it. All right, and as you guys seen, that little dude, or actually not so little for this this creek, but that guy came on a green pumpkin speed crawl, just Texas rigged, you know, nothing really different than what I would throw in the summer or in the spring. You know, like these river fish are a little bit different than fishing like a big lake or something. You don't have to really change up that much in the different season. Now, one thing that you can change up though that will help is just how you retrieve it. That's really what matters. The retrieve is what's different. In the summer, I'd throw it out there and just burn it, popping it, you know, whatever. And in the winter, I just like to slow it down a little bit. That's the real only difference. And they will still burn it up. There's another one. Oh, he missed it. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. What I'm doing is I'm casting over here to the right side of all this brush and that garbage there, and I'm letting it kind of float underneath it. And clearly there's some fish hiding in there, because that first one I caught came out of there, and now I just missed another one. And he, just like the other one, he hit it really hard. And I know I didn't get any hook penetration in him, so if I can get it in front of him, there's a good chance he'll bite it again. And another thing that I know a lot of people think happens in the winter in rivers is that the bite becomes real subtle. And while sometimes that is the case, a lot of times they hit it just like that one hit it, and it wasn't subtle at all. He tanked it. And there's a lot of times that's how they'll hit it. These fish are a different breed than your lake and pond fish. It does surprise me that I just caught a largemouth though. That does surprise me a little bit. Because for the most part, I catch smallmouth here, or sometimes I might get the random spotted bass, but don't really catch many largies out of here. So that was pretty cool. I'm gonna try to get all up in that, and I can't because there's a tree sticking out there, but I just know there's a fish over there. I mean, it's a perfect recipe for it. You know, there's an overhanging tree, and then a brush pile right there. Oh, I just got smoked again. Guys, man, they are active. Active. I knew earlier when I broke off on those two that it was going to be a day where I get more than 1 or 2 bites. There's one. There he is. There he is. There he is. Stay down. There he is. Let's go. Look at that. A little bit bigger than the first one. Yes. This is nuts, guys. Absolutely nuts. I mean, look at this. Second one in about 10 minutes, and once again he absolutely crushed that Texas rig. They're so aggressive right now, and a lot of people think that you just can't catch them because it's too cold. And don't get me wrong, you can tell by my fit here, it is freezing cold. My hands are numb and these fish are cold, but they are still eating. So get out there, don't sit in the house in February. Get out there and catch some of these. Let's go. Man, this is nuts. Oh, get out of there, get out of there. There it is, guys. Let's go. I know I've probably said let's go about 10 or 11 times, but I mean, I'm stoked. I'm catching fat river largies. This is a spotted bass for sure. Yeah, he's even got his little rough patch there, but this is 100% a spot. Now the other one, I'm not really sure. Unfortunately, I'm gonna kind of have to toss him just a little bit, but he'll be all right. Thank you, my guy. One last look at him in his beautiful gloriousness, or her, I'm sorry, didn't mean to assume. But thank you so much for biting. Thank you so much for playing. See you later, Jimmy. There he goes. Yes. I'm having an absolute blast. I am having an absolute blast. Oh, look, there's a snake skin too. That's pretty sweet. Right there. It looks disgusting, so I'm not going to touch it, but it's still pretty cool. All right, that's two fairly nice fish on this speed crawl, and he's missing a piece of his claw, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of him and throw on a new one. As I said earlier, unfortunately I only have two left, so if we don't get a few more fish out of these and we don't feel like calling it a day, we'll take a quick trip to Walmart, get loaded back up. I mean, I just can't stress it enough that you don't have to change much in the winter. It's really all about your speed, you know, just slow down a little bit and you should be able to get bit in similar situations and with similar baits than you do in the spring or the summer. Now granted, not everybody's location is the same, so you know, I'm sure in certain states winter is a whole heck of a lot different than it is here. Dude just stopped by to, you know, see how the fishing was, and kind of forgot what I was saying, but I'm thinking I was talking about how things are different in different areas. So what I was trying to say is, you know, these tips and tricks here, for the most part, anybody can use them, you know, but I do also understand that a lot of people's area is a whole lot different than my area, you know. But I still urge urge you to try it. You know, try some of these little tips and tricks here, which honestly, there's not really much to it. You know, fish like you do in the summer and the spring, just slow down a little bit, and you don't really have to change up much when it comes to like baits or whatever the case may be. And we're hung. But seriously, in all seriousness, use exactly what you would use in the summer. Just slow down a little bit, and there's a good chance that you'll catch some fish that way. A lot of people, the only reason they don't catch fish in the winter is they're just too intimidated by the cold weather to go out and fish. And then they get caught up in the, I guess you could say, the myths that you can't really catch them in the cold weather, or that they've moved and they're somewhere else in the cold weather. They get caught up in those and don't even really try. So get out there and try it. We'll get as close as we can over here, but like I said, I'm not going to go into someone else's property. That looks like a really good spot though right there. We can, however, go on the other side at that church and make a few casts over towards this way. We might do that because I've actually fished over there many times, and I have caught some fish, so we can do that. I'll go ahead and make my way back down towards the car, and we'll park over there at the church, see what we can't do. All right, so we've made it to the other side, over by the church here, and there's a couple spots that I can see from over here that look fantastic on the other side. I just couldn't fish over there because that's people's property. There we go. Yes. Yes. Come here. Man, I don't know what it is about them, but these spots are munching today. Munching. Oh, almost hooked him in the tongue. That would have been bad. Hold on, let me grab some pliers. Man, that's another fat one. Let's go. I didn't even turn my truck off because I didn't think I would be here too long. I just wanted to make a few casts. First cast though, demolished. All right. There we go. Nice. Since this guy got a little bit of trauma, I'm gonna try to get a picture and get him back in really quickly. But I mean, this goes to show you guys, in this same little stretch, I mean, I was right down there by that bridge a few minutes ago, same little stretch, and I've caught 3 really nice spotted bass. I'm pretty sure the first one was a largemouth, but all 3 really nice fish on the same thing. Check him out. Let's go. All right, got me some pictures. There he is. He's beautiful, he's gorgeous, he's fat, he's plump, and he's going home. Thank you, my guy. There he goes. Let's go. There you have it, guys. Fish number 3. And on that note, I think we're gonna have to call it a day because it's about 4:30 and temperatures are dropping extremely fast, and it's extremely cold. I mean, it was already 40 degrees when we came out, so it is freezing. So I'm pretty sure I got my point across in this video. My point is, you can catch fish in the middle of the winter. Like I said, it snowed yesterday, and it is freezing cold, and you can still come out to the river and catch fish. A lot of people believe that you have to go out to deeper waters and different sections of the river, and all kinds of weird myths that you hear, and they're not necessarily true. While a lot of the fish will move out deeper, as I said earlier in the video, some of the fish don't have that opportunity. So they're still in the same sections of river that you fish in the spring and summer. The only real thing you have to switch up is your speed of your retrieve. That's pretty much it. As you guys seen, all 3 of those fish came on a speed crawl, just Texas rigged, and that's what I use in the summer. Same color, same everything, just slower retrieve. That's it. And you know, I am a little curious as to why we didn't catch any smallmouth, but it's not about the species, it's about fishing. And one thing that stands true, whether you believe winter is a good time to fish or not, is you can't catch them unless you go out and fish. So with that being said, it doesn't matter if it's January, February, or August. Get out there and fish. You can always catch fish. And if you don't catch a fish, it's not the end of the world, because it's not catching the fish that we love, it's fishing. And catching a fish is just a bonus. So anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you got any questions, or if I didn't cover any kind of tip that I went over, if I didn't cover it enough, or you know, if you got any questions at all, just leave them down in the comments. I love talking to you guys, and you know, it feels good to be filming. It's just something that I haven't done in a long time, and I miss it. So I'm definitely going to try my best to keep this up, especially when, you know, the days start to last a little bit longer and it's not pitch black when I get off work. But thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. And if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. And also, to all of my subscribers that are watching, thank you. For some reason, 90% of my watch time comes from people who are not subscribed. So if that's you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.